is the Flex Network. Flex on everybody.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Flex Network. I'm your host, Flex Shane. You can follow me on Twitter at the Flex Network 1. I am once again joined by the gallivanting traveler himself, Brandon Adam. You can follow him on Twitter at Brandon D Adam 19. Brandon, what the hell is going on, brother?
Not much, man. So happy to be back and talking some fantasy with you, bud. Like, I missed out last weekend, and I'm excited to be back for sure.
So something you don't really hear very often is you went and played sled hockey down in San Antonio, Texas.
Yeah.
Is that accurate?
Yeah, we went and played some a small tournament down in Texas. Yep, it was
That's
fun.
pretty sweet, man. That's pretty sweet. Yeah, I mean, you don't really hear, oh yeah, I went to a hockey tournament down in Texas. Normally it's, I went north up to, I don't know, Seattle or Canada or something like that. But that's sweet.
I'm going to be going to New Jersey next, so we'll see.
That's pretty sick. So how does that work? Like, does your team have finances that pays for your flights, or
we do a lot of fundraising. We have pretty good sponsorships around here, and the Colorado Avs kind of kick in something here and there sometimes.
Oh, very cool. Hence why you're rocking the Avs gear. I respect.
Oh no, it's game day. It's game day though too. So
yeah, that's true. That's true. Brother, we're not here to talk about sled hockey, as interesting as it is, actually, and it is very interesting. Apparently, you're quite the sniper, which I respect that. I love that.
I'm okay.
As a man who played goalie growing up, I hate people like you, but I respect the game. I respect the game. It is the people are calling it Bymageddon. It is a crazy week this week, dude.
Harsh.
We have 6 teams on bye, and the thing is, there's 6 good teams. I have in two of my leagues, actually, 2 of my season logs. Literally, my entire bench is just my bye players. So it's kind of grindy. It's kind of nasty.
Same thing's going to happen on week 12 too.
Yeah, dude. It's
when the Cards and Chiefs.
Yeah, and luckily in one league, the Banana Hammock Boys League, which it's quite deep. It's 12 person league. I went out and I got Geno Smith last week, knowing that this week I was going to lose my 2 starters. And look, it's not pretty.
You got to do it.
Yeah, I started Teddy on Thursday, and I'm going Geno. It's one of those kind of weeks. So for those who don't know, if you're living under a rock, we got Buffalo, a lot of good players. Dallas, a lot of good players. Jacksonville, meh.
Vikings.
Minnesota, Dalvin Cook's a big one. Pitt, there's definitely some good players. And then the Chargers. So those are the 6 teams on bye this week.
Wild.
Yeah, so
that's wild.
It's crazy, dude. It's crazy. I'm telling you. And the thing is that, again, because a lot of the players are fantasy relevant players on those teams. So it's probably good teams that are in trouble. So if you're kind of one of those nasty bottom of the barrel teams in your league,
this is a good week to get a W. Yeah, there's a good week. I'm exactly in that situation where I'm missing a big team because their bye week is crazy, and so I'm missing out on getting hit by the Bills and by the Cook a lot. So, but I also got Cook taken away too. But it's all good.
Dalvin, he's been. It's always tough.
I know, but he's just he's like one of those players that no matter if he's not doing that great, you feel good about him. Like he can fucking just go out and get 30 for you any week. So
absolutely,
that's just the kind of guy he is. So
So I would say the format of today's show is going to be a little bit different in the sense that we're going to actually go through game by game and talk about potential flex plays, guys going a little bit deeper, right? Because for us, just to give you guys 2 or 3 flex plays, I mean, all these players might not be available.
Right.
And we're also going to dive into guys who are typically starters that are you comfortable starting them this week? Guy that comes to mind is AJ Brown, right? I mean, you're starting him every week, but if you didn't start him in previous weeks, it wasn't the worst thing. Of course, last week he had the illness playing Monday night. I had to sit him in 2 of my leagues that I had him. In one case, it didn't really cost me the win. The other one, I got the win, so it worked out. But spoiler alert, start AJ Brown this week.
Yeah, of course.
Let's get into it, brother. Let's talk about some of our flex plays of the games. Ooh. Almost got myself there. All right, brother, let's get going. Let's start off with the Arizona Cardinals versus the Houston Texans. Now, this one, Vegas is telling us, is going to be an absolute pounding, let's call it.
Yeah, and it's still, I mean, the over-under is 47.5. So, I mean, it's not exactly like lights out craziness, but like it's going to be one-sided, and it's going to be interesting to see who. I think I have a suspicion that Zack Ertz is going to rear his head and have himself a touchdown for sure.
Well, let's talk about that. So Zack Ertz was traded last week to the Cards. I mean, look, here's the thing: the Cards have a lot of good weapons, right? And you look at DeAndre Hopkins; he's rocking about a 20% market share, target share on this season so far. Which for a guy like Hopkins, he was typically in the 25 to 30%, right? But I mean, it kind of makes sense when you look at that depth chart. And even freaking AJ Green is balling out. Rondell Moore, your guy, is balling out.
Yeah.
They're getting Chase Edmonds involved in the passing game.
Yep.
Zack Ertz comes in, though, and this week, Houston is literally the stone worst team against the tight end.
100% correct.
Yeah, and the thing is, Zack Ertz played last week on a Thursday, and it was almost like, okay, it's kind of a gift. Dallas Goedert was on the COVID list, and Ertz balled the hell out. So are you saying you're comfortable? Look, here's the $1 million question, Brandon. Okay, yes, if you have Ertz, you're probably considering starting him in your tight end spot. Is there a world where you would consider starting him as a straight up flex?
Oh man, you'd have to be pretty in rough straits there. But if I'm struggling for a starter, you're always looking for that touchdown and who's going to get the touchdown on your bench. And I really think is a high probability that Ertz gets a touchdown this week. Ertz and him have been working a little extra this week on packages for him. And I think Ertz is a veteran pro that can just walk in and just play. And I think also with Houston just being atrocious, the worst against the tight end. Every tight end has scored against Houston. And I think Ertz, they show off their new piece and get him a touchdown. But I also believe this is a huge DeAndre Hopkins week. And I think Houston is about to get the hammer dropped on them by Hopkins. And I think Kyler Murray is going to hook up Hopkins quite a bit on purpose and try to rub Houston's nose in this. I have a feeling that's going to happen. And I would not be surprised if Hopkins just went nuclear with 2 touchdowns.
So they call him Nuke, baby. All my teams get nuclear. That's Hopkins forever was my favorite non-Patriots player in the league forever.
Dude, Hopkins is a beast, dude.
Yeah, love it.
Yep.
Well, so the implied team total for Arizona is 30 points based off that over-under. So they're going to probably put up points according to Vegas. So the only risky thing here is there are so many good weapons that maybe they get cute and they just absolutely destroy Houston. But what about on the other side? I mean, you're starting Brandon Cooks. You're starting him every week. He's I've heard a lot of rumblings of people talking about Nico Collins. I'm not there yet. I'm not there. I love Nico. I have him a lot on my dynasty teams, but I ain't starting him, man. No
dude,
way.
if you want to get trashy with like a DFS run back, Nico Collins would be something. But like, I'm not trusting him with in my flex or anything like that. And I don't know. That's a little bit too trashy for me. But we'll, I don't know. Like we'll see though. But he has his physicality when he plays is very apparent, and he's a big body out there, and that's exactly what that team needs. So I mean, who knows? I mean, maybe he is going to be something later on, but I don't trust him right now.
No, you can't do it. You can't do it. Won't do it. No. Let's move on. Next game. We were talking about this game before the show started. Atlanta at Miami.
Yep.
Brother. Tell me who you love in this game. Just tell me who you're slamming it.
So my number one flex play of the week is Jaylen Waddle. Jaylen Waddle, his volume spike because of injuries, and I think because Tua is back a little bit, and they have a little bit of a connection there. He had 13 targets last week on 10 catches for 70 yards and 2 touchdowns. If he just gets 8 targets, I'm happy. So if he gets anything above that, that's gravy. With his kind of talent and explosiveness, I think he's going to take advantage of that matchup he has. He has the 8th best matchup for wide receivers for the position in fantasy against the Atlanta secondary. So I think he's going to take advantage, and he's going to have some big chunk play, and I'm excited to see what he does.
I think this one's going to be sneaky high scoring. I really do. I mean, neither of these teams' defenses are particularly
Exactly.
scary.
Exactly.
Miami's kind of taking a step back, unfortunately. Mike Gesicki, man, it's going to be the week of the tight end, I think. Mike Gesicki.
I am 100% with you. I think there's going to be a couple guys that you could throw in your flex and you can be comfortable with the tight end and being that. I think Higbee's one too as well. Like Detroit is terrible against the tight end as well. So I could totally see him having a big breakout game.
I think for those who like to dabble in the arts of DFS, it's going to be tough to really lay down that tight end spot. I'm kind of leaning towards like an RSJ because he's just so dirt cheap, especially on FanDuel. But yeah, I mean, Gesicki, if you want to be safe, Tyler Higbee in that blow or that massive game, that quote revenge game for the Rams and Detroit, it's going to be a fun one. Is there anybody
has a high total?
It does have a high total. On the Atlanta side, are you comfortable playing a player like Mike Davis? Cordell Patterson's falling the hell out.
No, I'm not comfortable with Mike Davis as of right now. I think Cordell Patterson, Cordell, Ridley, and Matt Ryan are the plays this week for them. Like if you wanted to do like a stack, that would be one with Cordell and Ridley. I think Ridley has a big game this week as well.
It's got to be.
It's going to happen, dude. The volume is there. The volume is there. I think he's going to break out, and he has a soft matchup here. And I think Matt Ryan, I think that offense is finally getting a little bit of a rhythm. And I think coming off a bye, and I think that's going to help out. And I think Cordell is actually in my flex starts of a must start. Like just don't even take him out until the volume stops, because the volume, that coach is obviously in love with Cordell and what he can do. And he is the most explosive guy on that offense right now.
No, he really is. Yeah,
he's so good right now. Like he's a godsend for a couple of my teams. Like he's everything right now for me.
a reasonable target share for a running back is usually about 10% of the passing targets. Cordell Patterson currently has a market share of 15%,
bro.
But he's also getting the carries, right? And he's averaging
carries.
He's averaging 4.22 yards per carry, whereas Mike Davis is only at 3.29. And Mike Davis, he's averaging 12 carries a game. Stay the hell away from Mike Davis.
Yeah,
I get it. It's Armageddon. You're setting yourself up for failure, I think, with Mike Davis. If you're absolutely desperate, it's a clog, right? But if you have anybody with a pulse on your team, I would consider them over a guy like Mike Davis. Let's move on. Otherwise, we're going to be here forever.
Keep going.
We have those Baltimore Ravens versus Cincinnati.
Ooh.
What say you? It is a 46 point over under, and the line is -6 for Baltimore. What do you think?
Man, I think Boyd and Higgins have the better matchup of anybody in this. They're going against the weaker of the DBs, and so he needs to get going, man. Like his talent does not reflect what's happening in the score sheet right now, and I think maybe he's coming back.
Yeah, dude. Oh, sorry, you got your mic muted again. We lost you there, brother. So basically what he's trying to say is it's one of those situations where T. Higgins, he hasn't really been putting up the points. The thing is he was injured, though, right, Brandon? Can you hear me now? You're good? All right. So the thing with T. Higgins is he's been injured. But, again, we look at market shares. He has a very similar target share to Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase is at 23.98% on this season. T. Higgins, when he plays, 23.14%. It's going to be another, I think, high scoring game. This is another sneaky game that I like in DFS. Here's my question to you. Do you think Cincinnati can actually get a win against Baltimore this week?
Why not?
Why not, right? It's going to be close. Baltimore is a favorite. They're a 6.5 point favorite.
Joe Burrow is an assassin. I think this game could shoot out in a big way. I think this could be one of those games that people think it's going to be a slobber knocker because it's AFC North football, but I think Chase is physical. Like I think he's built to go against tough teams like the Ravens, and I think he loves this. I think he has that dog in him. So I'm excited to see this game. I think this game is going to totally shoot out. Hollywood Brown is a guy that can continue to really show. Bateman's another guy that's a sleeper type that I wouldn't mind. I've been going after him in trades, and people have been smart not letting him go because they are trying to get him the football, and they drafted him for a reason. And I think he is, like I said, his comp for my comp for him prior to the draft was Odell Beckham. I think the way he runs routes is extremely similar to Odell Beckham, and hopefully he's not, a diva like Odell. And I think this kid has true alpha in him, so I'm excited to see what he does. Meaning, I think maybe Andrews pulls back a little bit here. Like he's been not going to get all that volume like he's been. So I think Bateman is going to get fed a little bit here.
Rashad Bateman was drafted to be the alpha in that offense.
Yeah,
Marquise Brown for he's having a career year. I mean,
dude,
he's still relatively new to
like
the league.
I lost faith on that kid a little bit, and I traded him away in a couple trades. But I'm happy for him because the talent was there. I love his talent. I think he just needed to, get a little tougher, and I think he's doing that. And he's not dropping balls that he was dropping in tight windows last year. He's willing to take some big hits this year.
The thing about Lamar Jackson is that he has always been knocked for not being the best passer. 2 years ago, his MVP season, he was insanely efficient. This year, ladies and gentlemen, he's still number 10 in total passing yards, with close to 1,700 passing yards. He's number 5 in his yards per attempt at 8.7. And
is he MVP?
Until those Arizona Cardinals put up an L, I'm saying Kyler's the MVP right now. But this is a big one here. Air yards per attempt, 9.7. He's number 2 in the league, Lamar Jackson is. So you get yourself Marquise Brown. You finally kind of figured out how to use him. You get that alpha. You get Rashad Bateman continue to improve. He had 6 targets last week. And look, I think this is going to be another fun game. I think the slogging days of the AFC North are a thing of the past, right?
Yep.
And it's exciting. So
the AFC North is packed with stars, isn't it? Like
it is. It really
just
is
packed. I'm excited to see. I love the Bengals. I actually been bullish on the Bengal offense all offseason. I think like, and you're totally wrong about Mixon. Mixon is a star. I'm sorry, brother. Like you need to understand. You need to understand.
When Mixon plays, he's a star. He's never on the damn football field, man.
Dude, it's not true. Like he's been doing great, and he's actually really coming on. And I think he's going to come on during when the weather gets cold, man. These running backs are going to catch fire, and whoever has these running backs that catch fire at the end will be good. But yeah, we can actually go into the next game I want to talk about is the Carolina Panthers and Chuba Hubbard. Chuba Hubbard is my next flex play. That I think he is gonna be. Let me pull up the matchup. So I'm looking at the Roster Watch Ultimate Matchup tool. I think everybody should try and get this. Roster Watch is super cheap and gives you great tools to look at. And Carolina. So Carolina's playing the New York Giants, and literally, if you look at this matchup tool, it's all blue, which means it's all green, baby. You want to stack these players against that team. And right now, Chuba Hubbard has the 6th best run matchup against the Giants defense in rushing, and I think he's going to have probably 18 to 20 touches, and he's going to score if he has that many. And I think that Carolina rolls over the New York Giants.
The Giants, man, look, they didn't look. Okay, Daniel Jones looked good. All right, you got to give credit.
Daniel Jones is he
looked good. Last couple of weeks he's been injured. He hasn't looked as good. Oh my God, Kadarius Toney. Kadarius Toney was a guy that the fantasy industry was out on, right? I mean, the narrative was he was overdrafted. I was on that same page, but listen, he was. If you had a mid to late second round pick in a lot of your leagues, he was falling there, and I was saying, shit, man, first round draft pick. The kid's got talent. I understand he had a late breakout age. He only really broke out in his senior year. That worries you, right? Historically, that's not a good thing. However, the dude showed that he could ball the hell out. And he had 3 for 35 in like the first 3 minutes of the game last week before he re-injured that ankle.
He's
I just
explosive.
really hope. Look, him and Saquon are the best two players in that team, and obviously Daniel Jones. He's finally starting to play well. They need to wait for that guy to get healthy. But we're not talking about what ifs in 5-6 weeks. We're talking about this week. Yeah. Sterling Shepard, I get that he's questionable with the hamstring coming in, and hamstrings in particular, it just takes one cut to really tweak it. But in bye week hell, Sterling Shepard is the kind of player that can get you 6, 7, 8 receptions.
100%
sneak into that touchdown, right?
Yep.
Sterling Shepard, he's available in a lot of leagues. Go out there and see if you can acquire him, man. He is.
I'm starting him this week. I got him in my lineups.
I got him in one of my lineups. So one thing
that
I got him, I'm playing him.
Yeah, I think, and I have him stacked with Daniel Jones in that lineup too, so I'm excited about that. But like, yeah, you're right, dude. Sterling Shepard is probably like when he plays, he is like Daniel Jones' favorite target. Like
he really
it's
is.
Not even close. Okay. So I'm with you.
All right, I'm gonna look. I gotta look this up because I don't have it in front of me. The New York Giants. Okay, so Sterling Shepard. Yeah, he had a 23% target share. He's still averaging 15.75 fantasy points per game. That's impressive for your PPR leagues.
Yeah.
He's a lock and load in your PPR leagues.
100%.
It's risky with the hamstring, but if he's starting and all expectations that he's going to start, you got to lock him in. Dante Pettis. A lot of people are talking about Dante Pettis. Don't do it, man. He's not good. He's not good.
Never.
Don't do it. You're gonna set yourself up for failure. He's gonna get like 3 targets. If he gets a touchdown, well, that's a Hail Mary, right? Don't do it. Don't set yourself up in those low probability plays. Again, we don't know what's gonna happen in fantasy football, but you gotta play the probabilities, Brandon.
Yep. Oh, 100%. I hear you.
Next game. This game's gonna be fun for fantasy. I hope, I pray. Or it could just be an absolute slogfest. Chicago going up against Tampa Bay in Tampa.
Oof.
Look, Brown is hurt, right?
Yep.
And because of that, I like the idea of Chris Godwin. I like the idea of Mike Evans. You're starting them pretty much every week anyways. What do you think about Tyler Johnson?
That's a little too deep to me. I don't know. I'm not risky. I think Chris Godwin. I think this is a Chris Godwin game. I think this is the one that he could set up and actually explode a little bit because Evans whoever takes on Evans is probably the number one. They get treated as the number one by NFL defenses the most. So I think Godwin is a natural pivot and it's still Gronk is not there. Antonio Brown's not going to be in. So I think Godwin is fine. I think he could be a fringe wide receiver 1 this week. But I think Lenny Fournette is another guy. I know it's a bad matchup, but I think I don't care. Exactly.
Leonard Fournette every single week.
Exactly. I'm right there with you. I think he's getting pass work. And if the pass rush is getting to Tom a little bit, that means the screen game is going to be open. And Fournette has been really good in that screen game. And I think Leonard and Godwin are my 2 guys that I think Tampa exploits. I think that's where I'm going in that.
Leonard Fournette had 6 targets last week. That's massive.
Yeah, that's awesome,
massive.
Dude.
I mean, Leonard Fournette had to break out. He had 28 total touches, 127 yards, and 2 touchdowns last week. If you had him on your team, you were rejoicing. You were absolutely rejoicing.
Yep.
What about on the other side, though? Darnell Mooney, man. Look, Tampa Bay sucks against the wide receivers.
It does.
Allen Robinson is still hurt, but Darnell Mooney is Justin Fields' favorite player, man. He leads the team with 26% market share in that pass game.
Yep.
Are you okay starting Darnell Mooney in a pinch here?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, he has a top 10 matchup against the Tampa Bay secondary. I think that is. I think you're right on the money there. If Allen is still hurt, banged up, that means the target share is still going to be at Mooney's direction. I think Khalil Herbert. I know it's a bad matchup, but Khalil Herbert is actually a pretty decent player. I think he can actually probably score and get you 15 points.
Okay. So Khalil Herbert. All right. It's going to be a tough matchup.
Very much so, but I think he gets in the end zone.
You're praying for an end zone because Tampa is one of the top teams against the run this week. In your season long leagues, you're starting him. I'm not touching him in DFS. I'm just staying away from it. I feel like you're getting
no upside.
Can we just take a step back and talk about system running backs? Okay.
Sure.
David Montgomery, very effective, a system running back. Khalil Herbert steps on in, doesn't blink an eye.
Yep.
The Cleveland Browns, we saw them play on Thursday night. Dearness Johnson, boy, it was breakout season for Dearness Johnson. The thing is, Nick Chubb's supposed to come back next week. I get Kareem Hunt's on IR, so Dearness is probably still going to get a little bit of play in that because they love to filter out.
Dude, Chubb is going to go monster.
It's just when you're drafting players and when you're drafting at any, especially in these best ball drafts, right? I mean, I know we're way out from best ball season, but just try to keep this in mind: is that draft in like the last couple picks of your draft. Remember, running backs get hurt and they get hurt often. So have a look at what teams are you drafting running backs because of the system. So this year it was Chicago. This year it was Cleveland. And see, okay, for your last pick, maybe go and get the filthy, nasty Dearness Johnson because nobody else is going to get him, which means that it's going to give you an edge in your league in the event that there is an injury because, again, probability says one of these running backs is probably going to get hurt. So just something to keep in the back of your head as we go into February, March, early best ball seasons. Draft running backs in good systems.
Yep.
It's okay. The next game, it's not exactly what we call a marquee matchup, but it's going to be a game I'm going to be tuning in to on Sunday.
I know which one you're going.
Detroit Lions at those LA Rams.
Mm-hmm.
It's a 50.5 over-under.
Yep.
The Rams are favored by 15.5 points. It is a revenge game for Jared Goff. It's a revenge game for Matt Stafford. Jared, I'm sorry. It's probably not going to be your day.
He's going to get destroyed.
Poor Jared.
Dude. Jared. You know what? I think this is going to be a monster DeAndre Swift game.
I do too. Yeah, dude.
I think DeAndre Swift is going to have just a huge game. Only way Goff survives this physically is by using Swift in the screen game and just drawing that pass rush in and using Swift against it and just lean on Swift in the running backs. Otherwise, Jared might not finish this game. Like I think Aaron Donald is just going to absolutely go destroy. And the only way I think honestly Swift is probably going to have I could see Swift having 8 catches, something crazy. I think he could have a monster game.
Swift has 34 catches on the season so far.
Yeah.
He has, we talked about 10% of reasonable market share for in the passing game for running backs. He's at 18.7%.
Oh,
he's basically getting like a wide receivers, but which makes sense. They don't have any wide receivers. It's him and TJ Hawkinson. That's it. You're starting TJ Hawkinson. Last week he's injured. He's injured again this week. Just the big lumbering bodies at our tight ends. It feels like whenever a tight end is injured, they never quite put up the fantasy production you hope for. But you're starting
unless you're Kelsey. Kelsey can just play through most things.
I mean, he's otherworldly, right?
He's outlier.
Yeah, I mean, us mere mortals. There's certain players. There's Travis Kelsey. There's freaking King Henry. Like these guys, just you're starting them no matter what, right?
Yep.
But we are mere mortals, and most players are mere mortals. What about on the Rams side? I mean, obviously,
we talked about him.
Coop. We're talking about Robert Woods. What about Van Jefferson? What about Deshaun Jackson? Any of those guys? Those guys.
I don't mind it. I don't mind it, but I honestly, we talked about it earlier. I think the third option in this game is going to be Higbee. I think that's where this defense could take advantage. You can take advantage of the Lions defense, and Higbee he's an explosive guy. So I could totally see him having a very good game and scoring. Yeah, I could totally see. I could see Kupp. I could see Higbee. And also, I think Daryl Henderson and Sony Michel. I think Sony Michel's sneaky as well. Yep. Because if it's a blowout, I could see Sony in the fourth quarter getting quite a bit of work. But I think DH is going to have a monster week. I think he could have a top 5 week.
I think that Daryl Henderson, he's a top 3 play this week. Yeah,
totally.
Detroit is
he's
the
a
single
monster.
worst team against the running back position. Daryl Henderson, for his part, man, when he's healthy, he's looking good.
He's an absolute workhorse when he's in there, but he just hold your breath when he exits the game once or twice because he gets nicked up. But but when he's there, man, he's a stud.
Let's put our dynasty hats on for a second.
Cam Akers, did you see the video?
No, I didn't see it. There's a video. I love.
Yeah, there's a video of Cam Akers doing ladder drills already.
Okay, so the whole Marlon Mack story, the Achilles. For those who don't know, Cam Akers had an Achilles. Marlon Mack had an Achilles.
Yep.
Historically, it was a death knell in careers, right? However, we are seeing players nowadays with modern medicine.
Yep.
Ladies and gentlemen, this isn't we're a pro-vaccine show, and modern medicine tells you that get the damn vaccine. It's the same thing. The Achilles isn't what it used to be, ladies and gentlemen.
Nope. You can come back. I'm telling you. Like, look at what Uzomah did. He got hurt later than Cam Akers, and Cam Akers is going to have a full-blown year before he gets to play again and put stress on it. I think he's going to come back. I think he's a total steal right now. Like, if for dynasty players, go buy if you're not into the championship, if you're not in it, dude, go get JK, go get Cam Akers, go buy Travis Etienne, go buy these broken players that have high upside that are in good offenses, except for Travis Etienne, of course. But
who would you?
Cam Akers and JK are superstars.
Who would you prioritize? See, for me, it goes Cam Akers, JK Dobbins, Travis Etienne. Is that same for you?
No, I think I would rather have JK over Cam at this point, just because the injury JK suffered is even more, better risk, lower risk compared to Cam. But Cam has crazy upside. Like if he was playing this year, he would probably be a top 5 back.
Oh, he would be. Oh,
yeah.
I had so much exposure to Cam freaking Akers this year, man. Before he got injured,
go buy him.
It's absolutely
what would you pay for? What would you pay for him though?
That's what I was gonna say. Okay, two sides to this, right? Would you give your first? I would say yes, right? Because he's worth the first. Yes. But if you're the fantasy manager that has him on your team right now, are you accepting a first?
No.
Or do you want more? You want more, right? You want a first and a player, right? If you're a winning team and you're trading away Cam Akers because you want to win this year, right? It means you're gonna want a first, and you're gonna want a player that's gonna be a starter. So a player that you plug into your lineup right now,
right?
But you want more than a Sterling Shepard, right? Like who are you looking for? Would you go a first and Kadarius Toney? Would you go a first and Rashad Bateman? Like what's it gonna take for you as a fantasy manager?
That's probably what I would do right there. Those are two really good names that would be good throw-ins. I like where you're at there. I think that's about value.
Something like that, right?
Yeah.
Here's a question for you. If you are a bottom 3 or 4 team in Dynasty, and this is a selfish question because the fantasy manager who has Derrick Henry in one of my leagues where I'm contending and I need a running back, he has Derrick Henry and his team's not very good. Derrick Henry's his only guy. He's just it's dynasty, man. Who knows, right?
Yeah.
And look, remember King Henry in the past, he wasn't always. I mean, last couple of years he has been, but he wasn't always this fantasy elite option forever, right? He just didn't have the usage in previous years. What are you willing to part with if you're the Derrick Henry manager and you're in rebuild mode? What are you willing to part with for Derrick Henry?
I want at least 2 firsts. Yeah, 2 firsts.
And what?
And 2 firsts and Cam Akers.
Are you willing to pay that though? Would you be willing to pay that?
Yeah. If I was going after the championship, dude, honestly, guys, dynasty people need to understand your opportunity, your opportunity, if you're within striking distance, man, go the fuck for it. If you're close and you have an owner that's willing to give you a superstar and you can buy that guy, dude, do it. I did it in multiple leagues, and I got championships because of it, because I was willing to go get the star and pay up. And I was able to do that with Kyler Murray or Patrick Mahomes. I was able to do that with Antonio Gibson and other players like that, last year. And those moves are league tilters, man. And if you can go get yourself a Derrick Henry, and Derrick Henry will win you a league. That man will do it on his own. Last year, I literally I lucked into the championship because I was just good at flex plays the whole time in the playoffs. I was killing it. And then I got into the last game. Derrick Henry is the guy that won me the whole league. Like the only reason I was in that league is because of Derrick Henry. So yeah, go buy him if you're within striking distance, man. It's about now. It's really about now. Like people need to quit. Like unless you're not into it, the future, you can put that on the back burner. If you're within strike distance, go get that championship. Like there's nothing better than winning the championship.
Good words. A team that might win the championship this year, if it's his last year on the team, Green Bay Packers going versus Washington. So it's at home in Green Bay.
Oh man.
Obviously you're starting Rodgers. Obviously you're starting Devontae Adams.
Yeah.
You're starting Aaron Jones. Are you starting AJ Dillon this week? Is there a path workload for AJ Dillon?
I actually, he was on my list of possible players that you can go grab, and he's getting 15 carries, man. And if he's getting 15 carries in a blowout win, I think Adams is going to have 2 touchdowns. I think Rodgers is going to throw for 4 touchdowns. I think one goes through the air to Aaron Jones. I honestly believe this is like stack up Packers, man. If you can, like the Packers are going to blow the doors off Washington, and Washington is not going to be able to contend. And I think it's going to be a good one for Green Bay all around. Like I stack the hell out of DFS. Like
are you
that's
comfortable starting? Like, are you comfortable starting Randall Cobb, Alan Lazard, MVS, or MVS is hurt? So yeah, but those
honestly, like MVS for DFS, MVS, like that makes sense because his upside is so nuts. But like, I think honestly, this is just going to be like a 40-point game for Adams. Like, I think Adams is gonna. I think if you're going against Adams or Hill this week, good night. It's over. Like you're gonna have a chalk up an L.
I keep going back to target share because opportunity in fantasy football is king. You could be the best player in the world, and you say talent creates opportunity. I get it. Yeah, 36% target share in that offense, man. Oh my God, just lock and load them.
It's like nobody else in NFL, dude. Like, and Rodgers like absolutely loves to hook up his boy. Like he just loves. He does, man. He's all about it.
All right, we're gonna riff through some of these games because I don't want to go 7 hours here, but. The Sunday night game, we got Indianapolis going up against San Francisco. It looks like Jimmy G is going to be back in, which honestly probably the right decision, right? I mean, Trey Lance, I love him. I love him in Dynasty. This wasn't going to be the year that he was going to really break out. San Francisco is only favored by 4.5 points. It's only a 43 over/under. Michael Pittman, you're starting him. T.Y. Hilton, it looks like he's going to be playing this week. On the San Francisco side, you're starting our boy Deep Dog Deebo Samuel.
Man.
Are you starting Brandon Ayuk? Are you starting?
Dude, I was last night when we were looking at when I was looking at wanting to get flex plays, and I looked at the roster watch matchup sheet, and the roster, dude, it's such a plus matchup for Ayuk and Deebo, and so they have the number 4 matchup against that secondary, man. So. If Ayuk is going to have a game, like I could see it being this week. I could totally see that happening. So
the only thing that worries me is that we just talked about the Green Bay Packers and 36% market share, which is elite. Deebo Samuel is currently at a 35.92.
Oh my God, Deebo, dude.
Deebo, look.
Wow. What a league winner. Whoever held out hope, good job. Clap for you, man. Like that's awesome.
For the OGs, like last year, even though coming off the injury, we were still on Deebo, and it kind of burned us last year. And this year, I was kind of like, I just can't do it. I'm not going to do it because I was all in on Brandon Ayuk. I thought this was going to be Brandon Ayuk. I know you guys heard it. It was one of my bold calls. I said Brandon Ayuk's going to be a top 10 wide receiver. I made a mistake. I should have said Deebo Samuel was going to be a top 10 wide receiver because guess what? He's like a top 3 wide receiver in the league. Right
Bro,
now.
He is. Him and the 2 biggest surprises at the wide receiver position is Deebo and Cooper Kupp. Like those 2 just absolutely knocked over the order of what people thought the wide receiver position was going to be.
What about Elijah Mitchell? Are you starting Elijah? I am. I know I am.
But, of course. Yeah. You got to. Yeah.
Molly, what's going on? Thanks for tuning in again. Welcome to the show.
Next.
Indy, I mean, okay. Are you starting anybody other than JT on that team in terms of the running backs? Like,
I was looking at the Vegas tool,
like
and
Hines,
Vegas. No, I was looking at the Vegas tool, and one of the better matchups in Vegas lines is Michael Pittman. He actually popped a little bit. So I don't know. Maybe Vegas is thinking because of coverage with T.Y. Hilton going deep, they won't be able to, double Pittman. And if Pittman sustains his volume, I could totally see him doing something decent. He has a better matchup, so I don't know. That he could be a flex. I could see it.
Yeah, I mean, so it's if you got to do it, you got to do it.
Yep.
I want to go back to a game. We didn't talk about the Washington backfield, and I think it's important that we talk about them. Jaden McKissick, our boy, and Tony Gibson. He's hurt. Jaden McKissick last week, he had
monster.
He had his 8 carries, 10 targets. He had 8 receptions for 110 yards. Didn't get the touchdown, but he just absolutely blew up in your PPR leagues. Are you comfortable starting him again this week?
Yeah, 100%. Until Antonio Gibson doesn't have to be, taken care of throughout the week for his injury, like not practicing and whatever. Until he's practicing in full, I would start JD every week.
Okay, I love that. I mean, he's kind of burned you in every even week he did well, and every odd week he did poor.
Yeah,
that's let's buck the trend, JD McKissick, please, because I'm starting you in 2 of my leagues because I think no other choice.
Dude, until Antonio proves that he's 100% healthy, I'm totally with JD McKissick as a flex.
Fantastic. Kansas City at Tennessee. Kansas City's a 5-point favorite. This is the monster 57.5.
Holy shit, right?
Yeah. I mean, I'm starting everybody.
Yep.
In this game, right? I'm comfortable starting Mecole Hardman. I get that right now. The tight end matchup isn't fantastic for Kelsey, but you're starting friggin' Travis.
Dude,
Kelsey
is all matchup proof. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But honestly, dude, I think this is gonna be an eruption by Tyreek Hill. I think Tyreek is gonna have one of those weeks that people are just gonna I think he's going to have like 8 catches for like 150 and 2 touchdowns. Like that's how bad this Tennessee defense is on the back end. And Tyreek Hill and with the game script being so many, the output of points is going to be nuts. I think Tyreek Hill is going to have a monster. I think it's going to be Tyreek Hill, Henry, and Kelsey could have a good game too.
Are you paying up for Henry in DFS this week? He's 11,000.
Yeah, dude, he's a must play. Must play.
You heard it here, ladies and gentlemen.
Dude, he's a must play. Honestly, think about it. Like, there is not until AJ Brown and Julio are 100% healthy. I think they're gonna lean 100% on Henry. And this is like big measuring stick game. And why would you go away from a guy that's legitly an MVP candidate for what he's doing right now in Derrick Henry? I see 2 touchdowns for Derrick Henry and a monster week. I don't see how KC can stop him. I just don't.
I mean, you're starting Henry. He's going to be monster. It's just a matter of can he get you those 2 touchdowns, right?
I think AJ Brown. I think AJ Brown scores here. He has a plus matchup as well.
He finally got his targets last week. He had 9 targets. Last week, I didn't end up starting him. It was a Monday night game. He had an illness. You have to kind of make tough choices. This week, was it Chipotle this week? He had food poisoning?
Chipotle is just doing a number on some people.
Buyer beware when you go to Chipotle, man.
Right?
Yeah, but you're starting AJ Brown this week.
Yep,
I was tepid starting him in previous weeks. He kind of did it because he had to, right? Because of the talent level. But
absolutely, Bali Pitt over Seals.
Yeah. Look, RSJ, actually, he was a player that I wanted to mention with the Washington. He's a player that I'm actually playing in DFS because he stepped right in that.
He had 95%
snap share. Yeah. He's balling out. And look, I know Calvin Ridley was out a couple weeks ago, but Kyle Pitts had 10 targets, man. You're starting Kyle Pitts and you're not thinking twice about it. All right, moving on to Las Vegas versus Philadelphia. It is a 48.5 over under, and Las Vegas is favored by 2.5 points. Las Vegas is kind of a dumpster fire in terms of the wide receivers. You don't know if they're going to pay off. Are you playing Ruggs? Are you playing anybody on that team?
Yeah. So I have him as a flex play. So I have Josh Jacobs as a flex play this week. Mm-hmm. Philadelphia is kind of soft against the run. Josh Jacobs is getting at least 15 touches in this game. And I think it's going to actually be okay for game script wise for Josh Jacobs. And he actually has a minus 125 odds to score by Vegas. So that's good odds that he's going to score. So I actually like Jacobs. I was looking at Ruggs last night a little bit at his because he had that big game against Denver here last week. I think Ruggs has been sneaky about how good he's been. He's actually a dynasty buy a little bit for me right now. If you can go get him, I think they're finally figuring out his kind of skill set a little bit. And I think Ruggs is finally getting a little bit comfortable in the NFL. And I think his third year is going to be really good. But as of this week, I think he has upside. Like the guy, if you want pure upside and with all these buys, I could see Ruggs as a start.
What about the Drake?
The Drake? I'm not. Yeah, I don't know. I have no pulse on the Drake. Like all
right, that's fair enough.
Yeah.
All right. What about on the Philly side? A man who's finally starting to get some touches, and when he does get the touches, he looks good. Miles Sanders.
Yeah.
You kind of starting him because where you drafted him. I'm guessing you don't have very many stronger options. Just starting him. I'm starting with a little bit of confidence. $1 million question. This is again. I'm starting him in one of my dynasty leagues just because it's by Mageddon. Kenny Gainwell.
Okay,
it's a hope and a prayer, right? Like you're hoping
that
you're gonna get the
dude. It's actually we talked about it 2 weeks ago. This guy is actually a player, and
he is, but it's risky every single week. Like last
but
week,
Philly, dude. Vegas is so Philly has the running backs for Philly have the 8th best matchup this week. So it's a plus matchup for them. And also with Max Crosby, with that pass rush, they could get to Jaylen. So I could totally see them putting Gainwell in for screen game to battle that pass rush. So I actually like that game script a little bit for Gainwell. I think that's actually a good play. But honestly, Philadelphia, if they're going to win this game, it's going to be through Devontae Smith. And I think that Devontae Smith has a plus matchup with the 6th best against that Vegas secondary. So and the volume's been there for Devontae, and he's been on the field. His snap share is ridiculous right now. So he is the guy. But also with Ertz being dealt, I could totally see Goddard breaking out a little.
Goddard's going to have a good week, I think. We know Hurts loves to go for the tight end. Yeah. I think it's going to be a massive week for Hurts. I really do. I mean,
yeah, I can see it, dude. I can see it
on the ground. It's going to be a good fantasy point. Again, it's never going to look pretty, but he's going to put it to fantasy points. And hell, I could see him getting in for 2 touchdowns. In which case, those Miles Sanders managers are going to be cursing once again. Mm-hmm. That's just
Gainwell, dude. I think that pass rush for the Vegas is pretty good, dude. So I could totally see them using Gainwell as a way to combat that for sure.
All right, we got a tough question for you here.
Sure.
2 beautiful golden children of yours.
Uh-oh.
Are you starting T. Higgins, who's been disappointing, or Rondell Moore? I'm starting T still. I'm still starting T. Yeah.
It's T right now because of just target share, man. Just follow the volume. It's going to pay soon. Believe in the talent. T. Higgins is a really damn good player. I just don't understand what's going on. I think he might just been a little bit banged up coming off that injury. Maybe came back a week early. But honestly, just follow that. Follow the volume.
Okay, so Bally, we were talking about at the start of the show. Jamar Chase has a 23.98% target share in that offense. T. Higgins is 23.14.
It's
really
right
what
there.
It comes down to is it's the deep targets, right? Like Jamar Chase is capturing all those deep targets. He has 12 on the season. T. Higgins has 1. So that's really the big difference. But it's going to be a rough matchup for Jamar Chase this week. It's going to be, I think, look, any week can be T. Higgins' week. He's an absolute alpha. Unfortunately, Jamar Chase is just the alpha.
It honestly is. Jamar Chase is literally a top 5 wide receiver in the league already.
Yeah, well, he really is.
He is a superstar, like superstar.
And I was just looking it up right before, and then my internet was crapping out. But I'm just trying to check to see who Jamar Chase is. Yeah, he's got Anthony Everett against Baltimore. It's going to be a challenging matchup. I'm starting. Look, we talked about it at the start of the show again. Arizona, there are so many targets. It's probably going to be a DeAndre Hopkins week this week. Zack Ertz just entered the room. It's literally the best tight end matchup on the week.
And I think they like to. If you look at when Rondell's blowing up, it's at home, right? So
yeah,
I think they like to scheme the rookie for home games for big plays. They like to do that. They like style.
Rondell Moore is fourth on that depth chart for the wide receivers, and at only 4.7 targets per game.
48% target share.
It's too risky. Yeah. He's getting it's too risky. I'm going for T. Higgins.
All
right, let's move on. We got 2 more games to talk about. All right, this one's going to be nasty. It's going to be smelly.
Here it is.
We got the New England Patriots going up against the New York Jets. The Patriots are a 7-point favorite. It's only a 42.5 over under in the game. Let's start with the Jets quickly. Are you starting Corey Davis? I'm not.
No.
I'm starting the Crow though. Jameson Crowder, he's a trusted asset. Michael Carter, Tevin Coleman's hurt.
Hey, if you need somebody that he's been trending upwards, his snap share has been trending up, his target share has been trending up. I think he's starting to take over that backfield a little bit. I could totally see Michael Carter sneaking in for a touchdown for sure and get 15 points for you.
What about on the Patriots side? I mean, look.
Here we go. My flex play. My last one I have that it's Damien Harris. Damien Harris is absolutely coming off his best game of the year with 101 yards last week and a touch. And he's got a plus matchup here. He's got the 4th best matchup for RBs against the Jets. The Jets can't stop anything. And I think this game script is setting up to be a slower paced game, which means they're not going to be completely out of it. Like in other games with the Pats, like they don't have to throw to get back into these games. So I think it's going to be a Hunter Henry game. And I think it's going to be a Damien Harris game.
It's going to, Ramondre Stevenson is a player you can kind of hope and pray. I mean, he might get the touchdown.
Maybe.
Ramondre looks explosive, man. Jacoby Myers, I think he's something like 65 or 68 yards away from literally an NFL record of most reception yards without a touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think this is going to be the week. I'm starting him in a league again because I have to. But, man, you hope it's a PPR league if you're starting him. Let's just put it that way. He's just not scoring the freaking touchdowns. If I can, I'm trying to stay away from this game as much as possible from the wide receiver perspective. I'm playing the Crow. I like the Crow. He's going to get 6 receptions for 70 yards, and you pray for the touchdown. That's pretty much it. And so we got one game left. We got the New Orleans Saints coming off a bye going against your boy, Geno Smith. It is another low-scoring game, potentially 42 points. Looks like New Orleans favored by 4.5.
Yeah.
Let's start with New Orleans. Marquez Callaway, he finally starting to ball out. He's starting to show a little bit what we saw in the preseason.
Sure. Yeah.
Tre'Quan Smith is back, so that could cut into the market share a little bit. You're starting Alvin Kamara, obviously.
I think
that's pretty much it, right? You're starting the wide receivers if you're desperate, but other than that, you're starting Kamara. In Superflex, you're probably starting Jameis.
Yep. Honestly, dude, the Seattle defense isn't that great. We give up a ton of yards, and Alvin Kamara has the 3rd best matchup of the week for the running back position. So I could totally see Alvin Kamara having a good week and, being Alvin Kamara for you. It's too bad. The Saints don't want to use Adam Troutman like they want, like they should, because they have the 4th best matchup of the week for tight ends as well. So Adam Troutman maybe sneaks in there. I don't know. We're not very good at guarding the tight end, and we historically haven't been able to guard the tight end in Seattle. So it's just part of our scheme up there. And I honestly, this, other than DK, I don't want to play anybody.
Yeah, like even I was going to say Tyler Lockett, man. You're starting him because you have to.
Yep.
Right? If there was no other buys, and you could play anybody and the entire pool was in front of you, you're probably not starting Tyler Lockett. It's just Geno Smith. He's going to throw it up. You're going to pray for the best and pray for me because I'm starting Geno Smith in the Superflex League this week. It's going to be rough. If he can get me 15, 16 points, I'm saying thank you, Geno. If you get me 20, I'm saying Geno, you demand. That's it. Yeah. We did it, Brandon. We made all the games. We haven't done this one before, so it's a little bit different format. We're not going to do this every week. It's by Mageddon. We had to get deep for the people. So, speaking of the people, where can they find you, Brandon?
On Twitter, bro. My handle is Brandon D Adam 19. Give me a shout. Give me a follow. Follow the Flex Network. Subscribe. Unsubscribe. Subscribe again on YouTube. Like, retweet our stuff, man. Please do it. Even if you don't like us, just do it.
If you hate us, comment. If you love us, comment.
Dude, do whatever you want. Destroy us. But we've actually been pretty damn good with our flex plays. I think we've been around 60 to 70% hits on those things, and
that's what you want,
I think that's what we've been doing for the people, and I think we've been right with a lot of our calls so far on a week-to-week basis.
Yeah, look, I mean, the thing with flex plays, right? These aren't locked and loaded players every week. No. We're trying to dig deep for the people, and unfortunately, there's variance in fantasy football. If we knew exactly what was going to happen every single week, it probably wouldn't be a lot of fun. The reason people love football in general and fantasy football is because of the variance. It's because of the heartbreak, but it's also because when that flex play goes off, oh man, there is nothing.
And you know you did it because you looked up and you saw the matchups, you saw positive matchups, you did all the right things, you checked out the Vegas lines. You know, look, honestly, if you have flex play issues, like a good way to figure out who's might be a good flex play is look at these Vegas props of these players and who Vegas thinks has good touchdown upside and play those players. Like that's a way to kind of filter your bench. And you can check that out you can get all that stuff on Roster Watch. Check it out.
Vegas is smarter than you and I. Let's just call it like it is. They know they have a pretty good guess. And look at usage. There's a lot of free usage.
Snapshare,
playerprofiler.com if you want to look at usage. I mean, it's there. It's really going to how you're going to dissect and get to that next level. And it's how you're going to find those flex plays. So we love it. It's why we're here. Brandon, so happy to have you back.
Yeah,
of course. I'm Flex Shane. You can follow me on Twitter at the Flex Network 1. Come talk to us. Let's engage. Let's talk about fantasy football. And good luck this week in Buy Mageddon. So for Brandon, I'm Flex Shane. We are the Flex Network, and let's flex on the league.
Let's go. This is the Flex Network. This is the Flex Network. Flex on them. Flex on everybody.